So this is Amy and I's trip to Costa Rica 2016. We stayed at a place called El Remanso. It means the backwater. I don't know why they chose that. It sounds like it's a romantic, Spanish for romantic place or something like that, but here we are. So we flew into San Jose from Minneapolis. I think we may have stopped in Miami. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But from San Jose, then we fly on this little plane to Puerto Jimenez. And I have a map coming up here. I'll show you. It's on the eastern side of the Osa Peninsula. And also the map will show, as far as Costa Rica, the Osa Peninsula is way far south and it's on the Pacific side. So here we are getting picked up at Puerto Jimenez. So they're way on the south part there. It says El Remanso Lodge. That's where we stayed. And that little there, it's blown up now. So that whole peninsula is the Osa Peninsula, mostly made up of that national park, Corcovado. Never got there, but pretty big national park. Lots of animals in there. I guess it contains 3% of the world's biodiversity. So here's our cabin here. A couple pictures. Bathroom, pretty nice soaking tub. That was great. No air conditioning in this cabin, but quite a view of the jungle. So this here is up the walk a little ways. This is the pool that everyone can use right by the eating area. This is back at the cabin here in the hammock. There's our view off of our deck. Quite a ways. It's probably a quarter-mile trek down the hill to the ocean. And here we are here. There's the trail down to the beach. A couple spots where there's these hanging bridges. The beach is very, very wild. Huge, big waves come in. It's all Pacific Ocean west of here, so it's wide open ocean. And the food was spectacular. Amy and I both I wouldn't say we're big foodies at all. We don't revel in great dining by any means, if anyone knows us. We're hamburger and fries kind of people, but it was great.
Check out the ants carrying the leaves.
Yeah, let's leave out my camera.
Craziest thing, watching these ants carry these leaves.
So these are leafcutter ants, and they're pretty neat. Everywhere you walk on the trails, you'll see these little lines where they're moving the leaves. Bunch of hermit crabs on the beach. El Remanso was a really small lodge. I think there's 4 cabins and 4 or 5, and there was 12 total people there when we were there, so you had the beach to yourself.
It was almost taken out by one of these waves. Almost lost my water shoes. Todd was crazy and he actually went to go find it.
Yeah, I think it was near high tide when we went down to the beach there, and there was a rogue wave that just crushed us. It almost took us right down. It was all the way up to our knees. We were right up against a jungle wall. And so here's the dining area here. For being out in the middle of a jungle, it's amazing the food that they can prepare. And you never have the same thing twice, except for breakfasts. I think you can have breakfast the same. At breakfast, you'd always tell them what you want for lunch, and at lunch, you tell them what you want for dinner. And Puerto Jimenez is about a 45-minute truck ride away, so they would have to go at least once a day to get fresh food from the town. I don't even remember what these meals were, but they were all good. Just fabulous. Fried plantains there I could see. There's a breakfast. Their breakfast is similar to ours, scrambled eggs and sausage or bacon. Here's a couple
This
of
is
these
where we look
suspension
for
bridges.
Sloth Boy. Over here somewhere. Yesterday he was there. A couple days ago he was right there. So we'll give him a look.
Tons of spiders like that around. These are two anoles that are fighting. It's the Golfo Dulce anole. Oh, and this is on the outside of our cabin. Forget the kind of bats, but there's always bats right there. Toucans everywhere. Usually stay up a little bit kind of high up in the trees. They don't come down real low. Vulture. There's a sloth. His head is down, kind of tucked under. Can't see it under his arm there. This is the view from our porch. Okay, so I took 2 night hikes. First one with Amy. This one here. I took my long lens. I thought it'd be the better one, but it's pretty hard to get everything in focus with those long lenses, and they're a little blurry because with the zoom on, it's hard to keep them in focus without a tripod. There's a cat snake, mask frog. There's a cane toad from Australia, armadillo, and that was the night hike. Now it's a daytime. There's an agouti right in the middle there. Spider monkeys. These pictures kind of make it look like there's animals everywhere you step, but you have to look for them a little bit. A lot of the animals are small. So here's a bird watching tour. I think about 5:30 in the morning we took off in that truck. There's a squirrel monkey right above the road. We stopped in the truck and I shot straight up. There's a whole troop of them, 4 or 5. There's 4 different monkeys you can see in Costa Rica. We saw all 4, pretty lucky. There's some parakeets. And this is a tanager, can't remember the specific species. For the bird tour, we pretty much, there's my best sloth picture. Bird tour is just in an open field just 10 miles away from the lodge. There's a knoll, those are everywhere. There's a howler monkey there, they're very loud. Scarlet macaw. And that they nicknamed the Michael Jackson bird, the redhead, because it goes backwards on a branch, kind of like doing the moonwalk. And lots of praying mantises. I must have found 3 or 4 totally different ones. Oh, here's my favorite. There's a fer-de-lance. That's a very venomous snake in Costa Rica. Some kind of hawk. There's our house there. Walk down the steps. Kind of a one room, and then it had the bathroom. No AC. There's a fan there on the bed. I slept with that on my body with no covers on every night because it wasn't hot. I wouldn't say I was never overheated, but just constant sweat. More anoles everywhere you looked. Yeah, you take a cold shower to come home from a hike, take a cold shower, dry off, and you immediately would start sweating again. So here we took kind of a longer trip down to the beach. Little photo shoot for Amy. She always writes the place in the sand like that. This day it was a little bit lower tide. every day was real overcast, which is good. We didn't get any sunburn, you know, because the sun is so strong there. Okay, so this is the river hike. I call it river, but it's this little creek, right? A little stream. And there's a granular glass frog. We saw probably 4 or 5 of these. This one has the black spots. Maybe it's younger, I'm not sure. Maybe it's slightly different species than some of the other ones we find. But we were told we would see fer-de-lance on this trip, which we do. There's a cool bat underneath and there's a poison arrow frog or a poison dart frog. Tons of different species of those. We only saw one. A couple different frogs, but the same species. Right in the middle there's a tiny glass frog, and here it is a little bigger. And there it is bigger. And real zoomed in there. They're translucent. When you shine a light from the bottom of the leaf, you can see right through their organs. See through their skin into the organs. It's pretty cool. There's a different one there, a smaller one. He ate a fly right when we were photographing him. There's a big something. Okay, right in the middle here, it's a fer-de-lance. I keep getting closer and closer here. See it? And there's my favorite picture, probably the whole trip. Big old fer-de-lance. And about 20 yards away is another one on a big rock. They're known for being pretty... there's another poison arrow frog. Those fer-de-lance are known for being kind of chase you a little bit. They're kind of feisty, but both ones we saw, all 3 of them that we saw, were all coiled up and they never moved. This is the end of the river hike. You come out to the ocean there. There's a crab right in the middle. That's so camouflage. It's cool. Spider monkey. These were taken right from the lodge, I think, right where you eat in the dining room. So there's spider monkeys, howler monkeys, white capuchins, and squirrel monkeys. We saw all 4. More leaf cutters. Amy hates ants, but she thought these were so cute. Carrying the leaves. And here's a nest. They're bringing them in the nest there. More suspension bridges. So here's the main office, just a tiny little 1-room structure. 1 little computer and 1 person. So there's more praying mantis. There he's grabbing a bug. Like I said, there's a couple, 3 or 4 different kinds that I saw. That one was on a walking light right at the path. There's some big beetle and a mantis there. There's their yoga studio. This is called a basilisk, a common basilisk, also called the Jesus lizard. It runs really fast on the water. So here's the second hike, and I use a different lens. Made a lot clearer images for each animal. There's a morning gecko, not like afternoon versus morning, but morning with a U. There's a tailless whip scorpion. There's a tarantula. That's a bark scorpion. This is one of the snakes that eats fer-de-lance. It's immune to the venom. Crazy. There's a kinkajou. Very, very rare photograph because the people at the lodge say that they rarely ever come down from the very tops of the trees, and to get a picture of one along the ground was pretty rare, although it's very blurry, obviously. So to recap the trip, we were gone for a full week from March 2nd to March 9th, 2016, and we loved it. I mean, everything we did, the food was great, the hiking, the animals. The humidity maybe is a little too much if you don't like to sweat, but it wasn't that bad. You just carry a dry towel with you when you go hiking, and always have water to drink. And we will definitely be back. Maybe next time we'll try the west side of the Osa, which is Drake Bay. Bye for now.